The scammers online spreading their lies, pumping stocks with dollar signs in their eyes. But we see through the noise, cut through the mold, calling out fraudsters. Truth be told, hey, expose the lies, let the story unfold. Truth be told, yeah, shining the light on the tricks they sold. No hype, no spin, we bring the facts, let the truth roll in. Fraudsters beware, your game's getting old. We're taking it back when truth be told. Truth be told. Truth be told. And the truth shall set you free.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of Truth Be Told. Unfortunately, we're down platinum, but we've gained a special guest, our all-powerful CPA accountant running
I
with
love that he
Bears.
still
How you
has
doing,
his
sir?
title up.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Amazing. Well, some people are probably going to have those feelings once we get started.
A little bit.
Oh my goodness. So, since I don't know how long our core topics are going to take, let's get straight into those so we can abuse your time with us and maybe sneak something else in there.
Yeah, sure.
Our first runner up, before we get into the numbers, we had last week. We didn't quite get to it, but apparently, Josh Cohen's been saying that he has multiple operator licenses. And we would sure like to know who these other operator licenses are and why he can't condense those. But he did tell us that on April 20th, last week, on April 20th, he would get the new accounting out. He didn't get it out on April 20th. They were downlisted to pink sheets limited on the 17th for his late filing. But on the 21st, we did finally get the filing that was supposed to come out. There is not a lot that's hugely different here. But if we do scroll down into the financials, it's not looking too hot because about August of last year, they had about 147,000. Now they're down to about 16,000 in cash on hand. I know we'd been talking back and forth running with Bears since we're starting on the balance sheet here. What's up with the coil tubing inventory not moving at all?
Yeah, that feels a little weird to me. Like, because when you're talking,
that was a big question when he had him on, right?
it's a great question. Yeah, I think we talked about this last time. It's like, it's a little, again, this is just me having beers talking, but it's a little weird to me, like that value is so high relative to cash. And then secondly, like it's not moving because typically GAAP takes a pretty strict view on what's allowable in inventory stuff because it's truly just the stuff that's going to convert to revenue.
Be depreciated while it's just sitting there doing nothing?
I mean, typically, that's a good question. You typically don't, because inventory, the presumption is you're going to move it within, say, like short term, right? So under a year, like if it was a long term thing, then it would go into like, it'd be out of that section into like fixed assets type of thing. But if I was an auditor looking at this, I would kind of question like why it hasn't moved at all. And if there's support for like these numbers, right? Because typically auditors will come in and like test heavily on like trying to back into like, is this inventory number correct? Like lower of cost or market, that kind of thing. But to see like 14 million of the tubing tool inventory against like 16K of cash, that feels a little bit, that's pretty lopsided, right?
Yeah.
But I think last time you did have support and it was kind of like a lot of different stuff in there that maybe take a second look at if it truly is inventory. Because if it's stuff you're not going to sell, then it probably should be, my hunch is probably some of that maybe should be tooling, right? Maybe some of it is fixed assets, but it's just kind of lumped into inventory is kind of my hunch.
Yeah. And then, of course, you mentioned, I believe that our big boogeyman here is we still do not get any reasoning behind the whole ARO obligation, explaining like, as you explained the first time we went over that usually there's some sort of explanation as to how you plan on retiring the assets, what's all the numbers going into that. what's your entire methodology for this ARO number,
Yeah.
and there was nothing again.
Nothing. Yeah, I was a little like, so he did, to his credit, he did restate, but you know, if it was like an SEC company, and again, I haven't done a lot of SEC technical reporting, so grain of salt, but it's like, if you're going to do a full restatement, it's like, I feel like you would have had what you submitted first off, what the changes are, and what the new ending is, so I can walk what actually changed, right? And like this, like best I could tell, and this, unless I'm missing something, is like it just a couple of numbers changed. Like one of the, I think the asset side went down 40 million, but there's still not much of a disclosure in terms of like the discount rate, the period, the loading of it, the timing of expenses, and all that stuff. Cause like that's a huge number, right? And it's that the ARO, again, I'm not a like oil guy, but like there is some subjectivity to like how you come up with that number. So it's important as investors, like, what did you do to make up that number, to come to that number, right? And then can I replicate that math, and is it sound? So it's good he revised it, but I would like to see a little more disclosure in terms of like what is actually in this number, and how'd you come up with it, kind of thing.
Right. I suppose the next best thing to do was there. I couldn't recall if there was anything that popped out to you as far as the earnings report, income statement. Because I know when we get to your favorite, the cash flow statement, there's quite a few questions there.
Love a cash flow statement. No, it's, you just kind of wish there was more of it, right? More income. But everyone
Doesn't
everybody
Yeah.
wish they had more income on their financial?
You know, I think in the footnotes they said, and double check me, I think they said they were non-ASC 810 conforming. What's that? Basically saying you're not adhering to revenue standards. I think that was in the footnotes. Let me double check. Maybe I gotta double check that. But no, in terms of income statement, it looked pretty, like maybe just be nice if there's more of it, right? The balance sheet was kind of a bigger thing. Like the inventory number seems weird to me. The ARO, some more disclosures would be nice. And the cash flow statement was still a little tricky to me, because it's like inventory hasn't moved, right? So I wouldn't expect, and the problem is like the dates on here are, it's just February to February, right? But then when I go up to the balance sheet, right, it's February to August, because it'd be nice to have the statements presented the same.
No, they need to be presented consistently the whole way through the financial statement.
Yeah.
You would hope.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, small companies, like I get it. He's probably trying to do all the things himself. So I get it. I'm not gonna like throw stones, but like it would be nice if they're the same time period. But like, so if inventory hasn't, because the issue with, not issue, the concern I have would be like inventory, there's a positive 591 on here. And for that to be true, like inventory would have had to move, right? Because since it's since it's a positive number on a cash flow statement, it implies like
there would have had to been something that,
yeah,
which I assume is the oil inventories, because we know that the inventory that hasn't moved was. But then again, let me look up here at the. Yeah, because there's your 591. It's the inventory here for the oil inventory that you're still booking. But the only way it'd be in the cash flow statement is if it went somewhere.
Yeah, so if you have a positive number on a cash flow statement, that means cash came in. So if I received inventory of 500K but I didn't pay for it, like that would be true the way that's presented. But then I just kind of want to know, like, okay, what is this exactly? Because there's like the 14 million, right? Just then you see the 600K come in. It's like it's different, right? But I'm not an oil guy, so like, yeah, the ARO is just kind of the thing. I was hoping to see more on it. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, the big thing that I had when looking at this is we did get some explanations here, like, or was it? So of course we have the going concern warning still. Is it still as confusing as it was last time? Yeah, still says that they look for more cash flow and stuff like that, but they don't need the financing. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I didn't break up with her. She broke up with me, but dude, we didn't really break up. We're just kind of a thing. Like
We're just
yeah.
kind of separated. It's okay.
No, I didn't get broken up with.
Mom's living. Daddy's living back with his mom and dad, but it'll be okay, guys. It'll be okay, kids.
Yeah, so it's okay. So they do say they're gonna grow, blah blah. So the only like going, because I had this in the Bed Bath crowd, like you only put a going concern in, because the assumption is that you will continue to exist in the future. So going, because the thing I heard the most is like going concerns are boilerplate. They're never boilerplate. That's just, it's so wrong. I can't tell people how wrong that is. So when you put this in here, what you're saying is there is more likely than not, you're not going to exist in 12 months. So when you come in here and you do admit that to some degree, and you walk it back and like, yeah, okay, we're not going to have great revenue, but then we don't need money, but we are going to seek money, but we might not be able to get it. Like that's not, I don't know, that reads a little different to me.
Yeah. The one thing that I was really having problems with, also the fact that there's no goodwill, and he's had a bunch of wells that have gotten basically he didn't have the proper rights and things like that with the Texas Railroad Commission, so they just yoinked his wells. And so, but you're not going to make any sort of goodwill markdown for those wells. The Texas Railroad Commission said, yeah, those no bueno. Your lease ownership of those wells is being taken away because you didn't follow the rules. So like there should be some sort of goodwill there, right? You basically lost an asset that you paid shares for.
Yeah, so it depends. Like it's okay. So if he had the wheels in originally for the wells, then I would have expected to see it because like as of August 31st, 2025. Like there's no goodwill. Do we know like when the courts ruled like thou shalt not claim this as value?
Well, some of them were earlier this year in that probably window up to like February 28th that he's stating here. And but most of them have been after, so that's probably why most of them are missing. But there was still some here that should have qualified for this goodwill.
Because he took like when you go to the cash flow statement, like there is a negative value for like the 1.9. It's in the investing section. If I go full nerd about it, this is an add back.
Just like last time.
I mean, it should be technically an operating section, but like, because it is through operating activities, like investing is like CapEx, right? So like, I would argue this should be in that, but so he took the charge, looks like in February 28th, but the balance sheet's only from like August 31st. So yeah, he's showing what 0 on goodwill. It's just, I struggle with goodwill, like as an accountant. So when I deal with like more like finance bro type people, they claim it's just accounting nonsense. But if you had to come in and like you can't recognize goodwill, they force you to write it off. That affects your asset base, right? And that's what I typically have to borrow against. Like as a CFO, like if my asset base drops from like 10 to 8, that directly affects how much I can borrow, right? So there is like goodwill is kind of an accounting construct, but there is like on the balance sheet, you do, if you overpaid and there is value in it, it is good to have it booked. So when I see it written off, that does kind of like, did we overpay for it? Like, should we not have, what happened, right? So it triggers questions of what it does.
So the acquisition. Okay, that was just cast. Okay. What also is missing here is we knew in January.
What does the May 31st one say about the freedom well testing? It was in the shareholders and company's best interest to reorganize freedom well testing by executing a strategy that allows the company to discontinue to the operations of the existing corporation, dissolve full ownership of freedom well testing. This is the one that they just won the judgment on, right?
Well, they won the judgment against Freedom Well, but they did not against.
No, Freedom Well won the judgment, but it says there, we have determined that the financial benefit to the company will relieve Azure Holding Group of any and all liability and limiting constraint imposed by the circumstance, which at the time.
Yeah, that's some mumble jumble horseshit, because remember they acquired Freedom Well Testing, but Freedom Well Testing had all that vendor debt and stuff, so the vendors sued them. So he
Right.
unwound the transaction, but they're still suing him and Vision Oil and Gas, and they got default against Freedom Well Testing. But as far as we
Right.
know, Freedom Well Testing doesn't exist anymore. So
But then look at that. Additionally, the decision was made as a result of a material undisclosed liability that was not disclosed or detectable at the time that the acquisition was completed.
I don't know about that. Wasn't detectable. You would think if there was vendor debt, you were doing your actual research,
DD.
that would have been.
You would have
That's a
seen
no.
that.
Yeah,
So I mean,
that's
is
a
this
no,
them
right?
trying to wiggle out of
Yes.
that default judgment?
Well, they haven't had default judgment registered against them. It was only Freedom Well Testing that it was default against.
That
But they could
own.
very well be that they're going to end up getting stuck with this too, because like you said, when you acquire a company, you acquire everything, including its debts. There's no like
Yes.
take backsies.
Yeah, you can't be
Yeah,
like, well,
over.
whoops.
Because like the first, like I've done quality of earnings and like DDs for smaller purchases, and that's like step one is like validate the balance sheet that you're buying, right? So like the debts, are they valid, blah, blah, blah. So that would have been a known thing when you're buying a company like these, and you can
There's
carve
no
stuff
way they
out.
didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like step one is validate the balance sheet, right? So
Yes.
Yeah.
and
What
so
I
that's
find really, oh, sorry, go ahead.
the 1.8 million in accounts payable owed to Golden Ranch. Like, do you know what? What's the story there?
Golden Ranch.
Like if you look at note
Not sure.
bottom of note 1, right above note 2, if you go up a little bit, is that part of the Freedom Well thing? Keep going.
Oh, Golden Ranch, maybe.
Yeah, right. That last paragraph above note 2. Yeah, right there on June
Azure
1st.
Holding Corp sold Freedom Well Testing back to him. Yeah, that was the unwinding of the transaction, allegedly.
Well, there's the coil tubing thing. On November 11, 2024, Azure Holding Group acquired 100% of a $14.3 million coil tubing tool set inventory, free and clear, with the distribution rights of the broader set of technologies and corporate office headquartered in Houston, Texas, under a joint venture agreement with Coil Tubing Technologies, Inc., granting both Azure Holding Groups and Coil Tubing Technologies each a 50% profit share, respectively, resulting from all future sales activities.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your
That's where
coil
this-
tubing, but what? So they just hold it? I don't get it.
It feels more like tooling to me, which isn't technically inventory, right? Like inventory stuff I'm going to convert to like as part of the revenue process, like, and then if you're presenting it as
Well, it's
like a
literally
joint
labeled
venture.
coil tubing inventory.
Yeah, I don't know. Some more disclosures around that would be nice, like especially for the, because it is a joint venture and like, do they disclose how many shares went to it? And like when you say inventory, like you're talking about stuff sitting on a shelf, right? And just the way
Right.
the description reads, I don't get that feeling, but I'm a simple man.
Well, and then where does like the what's the word when the depreciation?
So if it was tooling, let's say if it's tooling, it's stuff you're going to use as part of the process. I probably would book that as like current asset. Well, because I don't really, because when you consider like long-term assets, like that's capex, right? That's stuff you're going to depreciate over time. Like tooling,
Right.
you can generally, sometimes you can expense if it's small dollar stuff, you just expense tooling over time. It's not worth tracking. Or if it is, if it does have some value to it, maybe I hold it in current assets, but I wouldn't call it. I don't know what the best play there is, but it's for sure not inventory, right? I know that much because inventory is stuff I'm going to consume as part of the revenue process. That's not what I'm getting here. The vibe I'm getting here.
The big issue I'm having is so no lines of credit, and the company had no line of credit or debt obligations under notes payable.
We'll go
and they're
back to
saying that they
their
had no debt, but January we knew that he transferred his personal debts to the company, and then those were used for the death spiral financing that they got in the Florida court with Belzerian Holdings. So
Yeah,
what
but
do you
if you
mean
go
no
back-
lines of credit as of February?
go back
Because
to
it shows debt on the
the
balance sheet.
go back to
There's
the
debt
sheet.
on the balance sheet
It
now.
says if you go back to the sheet, it says he has what 1.6 million in accounts payable and negative 41,000 in accounts receivable.
Well, long-term notes payable, I guess right there. Like if he says he don't have debt, like,
Yeah, so there it is right there on the balance sheet. You're telling me you have no notes payable, but here this is the actual
Wait.
value for the Belzerian Holdings thing right here on the balance sheet. What are you talking about, bro?
Wait, was I looking at a
That
different
was
one?
how
Where
much
did
it was. It was a
Where did those numbers come from? Where's their accounts receivable?
Be up a little bit.
Current
Like this is the
portion of
current
notes payable.
liability section.
Oh, this is liabilities. Let's go to the receivable.
Yes, when you have long-term debt, you put the, say, the bulk of it goes in long-term, and only the portion that's due within a year goes into like the current section of your liability because it's due within under a year. But the stuff over a year goes down below.
Is this the right one? We were just looking when I saw negative 41.
Yeah, this is the same one.
Huh. I thought I saw parentheses. Maybe
So
I'm
the
crazy.
other part of this accounting thing that I know I talked over with you is, so they have this sort of death spiral financing thing where they have, it's tied to VWAP, and if it's low liquidity, then they get more shares that they can dump. And basically they can continue to dump and take out and dump until they get paid back on this debt that they owed. So given that the amount of shares that they get is in flux and not a hard number, how do you account for something shady like that in accounting? how you were in charge of shitco number 487 running with shares? How would you account? How would you write the accounting for death spiral financing?
It's kind of to play a book to, hey Kevin, hey buddy. Oh, there's a puppy. Good guy, puppy. He comes running when he hears these kind of questions. So I'm gonna borrow a page from engineering where I try to hold for one variable and solve for the rest. So if someone comes to whack my knees and they say, unless you're gonna pay me 10 million, okay, that's my debt, right? It's 10 million. And then if they come back 6 months later and say, okay, you're gonna give me 500,000 shares, and now your debt is, say, 8, then I'm guessing, you know, I would take the debt going to go down from 10 to 8, right? So it's a reduction to 2, and I look at how much the shares are actually worth. And if the shares are only worth, say, like $1 million, but I had to give them 2 or that kind of weird, whatever the difference is, I would charge off to, like, quote, interest expense, right? So if I really gave up $3 million worth of shares, but he only reduced my debt by 2 million, then that implies like $1 million of it had to be like shakedown interest, right? Because the debt only went down by 2. So yeah, so if you're doing like shakedown accounting,
Right,
you solve for X by holding everything else constant, right? So that's what I would do.
Okay.
But it's an interesting, you know, I've been doing accounting for like 20 years. And I can't say that I've seen that kind of scenario before. So that's,
Right.
I applaud
Well,
you
you
for
hope you never have to be part of a
these
company
things.
that sees that scenario. It's one of those things that, like, if you're a general manager or a head coach of a sports team and suddenly half your roster's on the IR, it's like one of those situations like, well, here's how I could do it, but I would just rather not be in the situation ever.
Yeah. Which that's really so much, I feel like, of accounting, right? It's like just asking questions like, wait, what are you doing again?
Yeah, right.
Because if the accounting
I
doesn't
kind of like
track,
it. It's kind of parallel to being, you know, the legal stuff we follow. You just ask questions, get answers, and run with the answers you get.
yeah, 'cause I can't tell you how many times, like in my career, where I'd get yelled at for booking an entry, and it's like, well, listen, I like to fight the man as much as the next guy, but the rules require I book the entry. How about you not do the thing that requires me to book the entry, Jag?
Right.
If you don't like the write-off, don't engage in things that require a write-off.
Yeah. Before we move on to our next topic, we did get, well, some select people got an apology from Josh. Namely,
Nice.
one person suing him and a potential person investigating him. So he gave a formal apology to Van Dyke, who he had on previously, and then Sarah Stogner, who he was ranting and raving about because he was possibly being investigated by a Texas County DA. So those are some curious apologies. Just gonna throw that one out there.
I don't see your
none of
name
the rest
listed.
of us got apologies though. So
No, none of us are in there.
But you're
And
not the online.
funny
You're not the
enough-
online basher ring, or who's the online basher ring?
That's us, allegedly.
Oh, they do. Allegedly.
Funny enough,
Well,
Sarah is still blocked. Some apology, my dude.
that tracks. Well,
Oh,
Nick
Mary.
said me too. Yeah, well, he didn't apologize to
Oh,
you.
I'm blocked now, finally. Okay, well, there you go. So our next topic Love this for you, sir. Love it. So apparently after he was celebrating really big when he thought he was off the hook, and then it got appealed, and now he ain't so hot on his lawyers.
Well, and then it's going, what is it? It's May, the beginning of May. They're like that judge is the one that it got reassigned to is moving.
Yeah. Because
I could go to that,
you
by
would
the
think
way,
even
in
after it
person.
coming down that they like from
You hear me?
appeal that they would still keep the same judge, which makes me wonder a bit if the judge was having a hissy fit that he got.
Well, he wasn't moving on it, so they took it away from him and gave it to another judge.
Yeah.
And I could go to that, by the way. That hearing.
Please do, please. By all means, take notes. But some of you may be wondering, it's like, well, we're talking about legal stuff here, but you've got running with bears.
Well, he's in Thailand, so like, is he?
I thought he came back.
No, he keeps posting pictures from Thailand.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll work out real shortly.
Or Vietnam. He's in one of those places that I think are
Vietnam.
That
He's been there before.
A little harder to extradite, but
yeah, something tells me he's going to get a recall.
Back to doing like he's like, fuck it, we're opening the Atlas Discord. He's back to pumping stocks,
which is the reason why we have running with bears here.
I appreciate y'all coming, give me a call just to torment me with this stuff. It's good.
So
if we have to see it, you have to see it.
Yeah. If that is how that works. Now, here's my big thing with this one. I have had there's a member of our loyal following that has been following FLWS. I've gotten occasional questions about it, and my general thoughts on it has been it looks like a turd. How would you let's start with the balance sheet actually, and annual works unless you want to do quarterly.
Good.
Okay. So like I guess in fact you go to whatever part of the financials you want to, because I'm gonna be quite honest, this is one I spent a little less time on. But to be honest, the balance sheet is not bad considering some of the stuff we talked about. It's more like the income statement and the cash flows that are not so hot.
Yeah, at least these are audited, right? Like it's a public company, so it's the bar, like the quality is better out of the gate. It's just it's not as pretty, right? Like it's okay. So cash is down pretty big. Total current assets is down pretty big after a few years. If you scroll down a little bit, so yeah, let's just do this live. Total assets down from $1 billion to 770. Current debt is creeping up a bit. Non-debt is flat-ish, down. Yeah. So total liabilities. Yeah, it's not.
Hey, it's a company with actual shareholder equity. Who knew that was possible?
Oh my God, it's positive. I'm not upside down in something.
Go run out and buy this stock now. Oh, never mind. It's actually negative. What's the reason for that? Is it because of retained earnings? That'll do it, I think.
Oh, total though, it's positive. You can tell they're taking on losses, right? Because it is declining, right? So equity declines when you take on losses. For me, this one was more about the income statement. I do love a good balance sheet story, but like the revenue, just like my God, man, right? They're down to what 2025 was 1.7, and they were at 2.2 a couple years ago. Yeah, so it's substantial.
And it's a very cyclical company from what I've seen. Like I'm bringing up the quarterly here just to briefly show that like most of their income comes in Q4 or whatever they consider December here. And the rest of the year, it's pretty flat. And that's the one quarter. It's kind of like how GameStop was before Ryan Cohen gutted the company. They had one quarter that they did really well, and then everywhere else, it was just kind of shit.
I feel like this stock is like squeezed before, right? Or it's had like they've tried to squeeze.
Well, I mean, it was one of his. It's been kind of a consistent Zach Morris pump.
Yeah,
that he's been working.
Yeah. Well, that's recently, but I think that it's had because what's the short interest? It's pretty high, isn't it?
Let me take a look.
It's just not. It's not the first time that I remember hearing 1-800-Flowers being
I totally forgot
trying
about them. I thought they were a thing.
Yeah. I think the short interest is pretty hefty.
What's the ticker?
I mean, I think rightfully so, but
Oh, normally I'd have this all ready and raring to go, but apparently not.
Yeah, I've been behind this week, which has been picking up.
I'm not usually digging around at short interest in companies too, so FLWS.
Okay, yeah, net income was like for FY 2025, right? $200 million loss. But then they took, if this is accurate, $140 million goodwill charge, which again, like,
Oh,
if you're doing a finance
Yeah,
bro, you're doing the adjusted EBITDA thing, right? You're gonna back that out anyway. But like I said, if you're taking goodwill charges, that means like the business has lost so much money, even the accountants are whacking you with a lower.
there you go, Amy. There's your short interest.
Yeah.
43% or 44 pretty much.
It's
Mhm.
good. It's good.
10 days to cover.
Yep.
So yeah, that's pretty significant short interest. Like this it's like, I mean, you've seen a lot less short interest because of the whole GameStop experience, and people still have that fresh in their head, but still 48% short interest. That's pretty high because like the company's bad. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason it's being shorted, but it's like
Yeah.
it's not structurally dead. It's slowly dying, but it's not like it's,
I think it's consistently high too. So I think that, like I said, there's been, I think, several attempts to pump this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Cash flow
anything
perspective,
in
right.
particular you've seen on the cash flow statements that's been kind of making you kind of go, "Ugh."
Yeah, it's just if you look at the quarterly view, right, for the last couple of years, you can tell outside of Q4, right, like they're bleeding out cash from operations, which means like your day-to-day stuff, excuse me, is losing money. So it's not, this feels more like a slow bleed to me, but like, seeing revenue drop off a cliff, right, and then having,
Right.
like, I thought I saw there was an insider exit, like several people left, right, like apparently a fund dropped shares, a couple of people bolted, right, which I don't typically weight insider stuff too much because I know that they know that if they buy shares, right, they can, like, because of that damn Warren Buffett quote, insiders only buy for one reason, like, they buy for a lot of reasons, right, and one of it could be to pump a stock. So but if they're leaving a company, that's kind of, it's not
A sign that things are getting rough.
right, like it's, and I will say, like, the different businesses when they're different stages, like I feel like I'm better in a turnaround situation, right? So I will say if a company starts to like slip, that maybe the current executive team isn't the one that's going to turn you back around, because I'm more of a turnaround type guy in terms of finances. So if you need like a steady state growth thing, that's never been my jam. So I will say if people are leaving, maybe they just see the writing on the wall and know they're not the person to like turn this thing around. But seeing a 25% dip in revenue, what, in 3 years, that's a problem. And then they're saying AI is a problem for them, which I do get. And then taking the goodwill hit off of that, if I had to guess, like there's probably more goodwill they're going to take hits on it. And then so it's
Right.
they got cash.
I really think their big problem is like, I don't know if it's so much AI with like 1-800-Flowers. It's kind of a dated business model. You're sure, they've got this online presence and this like phone thing that was, how they got started. But like, why would I buy flowers? Like it just over the
For delivery.
like, yeah.
Where you're gonna have them delivered
it feels like a
somewhere,
business
people-
model that's got a real small space it operates in, and it just.
I think it's like, I mean, you know how like when it's any of the like flower holidays, the grocery stores will set up the big tents and the
Yeah.
parking lot and stuff like that. So I mean, I think it's kind of, there's pretty big flower holidays, and that's probably when they make money, but the rest of the year they probably don't. Right? Like Mother's
Yeah.
Day is a big one, Valentine's Day is a big one, but
it's really weird because a lot of their revenue comes in Q4, which I guess makes sense because if you're a North American operator, that's winter, and it's a lot harder to get flowers that time of year.
Yeah. Like fresh, like to go get them from, maybe.
Yeah, you look at Q4 23, right? They had 312 million of cash, and I go to 2024 Q4, I'm down to 250. Now Q4 of this year down to 190.
But it's
Right,
also the bigger holidays, like Q4 would be Thanksgiving, Christmas, like
right, but it's
going
not
to see
not popping
family.
up. It's not popping up like it used to, right? It's like you're getting the Q4 pop, but it doesn't seem like it's not getting you
Yeah,
as
and
high, right? And then
it's
you're
getting
bleeding it
smaller. So
down.
like 2023, it was 822 million. Then December 2024 was 775 million, and then this last December was
Trending
702.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did see where the CEO was talking, and he talked about increased paid placements and AI-driven content. I do gotta get that. Like when if you Google flower, like send flowers, now there's an AI answer instead of 1-800-Flowers, right? Hey, sweet girl.
Right.
So that could be a thing, but if that is the thing, that's a little scary because it's a pretty delicate
Yeah,
position to be in,
I
right?
don't know how much that has to do with anything, especially since the decline started since the reopening after COVID. That's when their real decline started to melt down from there.
Yeah. And so I did see where they're talking about quote normalized spend thing and like adjusted EBITDA. And when I hear adjusted EBITDA, like they're trying to
I
sell
hate
you
it. I just
wrong.
hear
Like,
adjusted horse shit.
yeah. It's nonsense is what it is. Like if I add back all the things I don't like, I'm profitable. Like, well,
Yeah, I know. If I could take everything off of the income statement I don't like, I can look profitable too.
It's like non-GAAP. You're like, wait.
yeah, because I work
Yeah.
for a lot of my niche is kind of manufacturing, and it's like I work for a lot of different manufacturers, and a couple of them always like try to hone in on just the EBITDA, and it's like okay, but you're ignoring depreciation and amortization. Those are very real expensive for manufacturers. So yeah, if you ignore them, and that's why if I had to add back 10 million of depreciation to get to profitability, I got news for you in a couple of years. It's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go.
Right.
You're gonna have to replace a lot of this crap, and the money's not there, right? Because you're only profitable. You're only profitable because you're adding stuff back, right? Like EBITDA things, right? So, if you're not, my big thing is that when you look at the income statement, like I'll generally down to operating income, and if you're not profitable at that level, then the math gets kind of weird to me in terms of like you're having to do different stuff to call yourself profitable. So,
right. So with this next company, I have a lead in for it that will make Amy laugh. I also had to do some research to actually understand what the business of this company is before we laugh at their financials. So I'm going to post the thing that hinted me off to this shitco.
that's what you got a meltdown, isn't it? It's awesome.
Yeah. So this is Pizzagate lady herself, Ms. Ann Vandersteel. Which should be your first tip off. We're heading to the right places. She's branching out into financial conspiracy theories now. She hooked up with the MMTLP crowd, and now she's found her true calling. Pumping shitty stocks on OTC. That's why she was on the thumbnail for our OTC.
I mean, why did they think that she's like they sold it short, drove it down?
Well,
like you see like car, for example, like people were still shorting car all the way up to $850. Like it doesn't, like this idea that just because people are short of stock that it means that it's going to just nosedive it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The big thing with this is I did research on this. In no way is Anson funds or anything related to this company. So I don't even know what, other than that's an MMTLP trope, and she thinks that'll be a calling card for that. But I could not find any relationship between this Canadian. That's your second hit on this OTC shit pile. It's Canadian OTC stuff. So like,
Aren't they always?
But like there's where's Anson funds involved? I would dare. I know I'm not going to get from Ann because she doesn't give a fuck about facts or truth or anything like that. But if someone could find out what Anson funds has anything to do with this, please let me know. Now, before we get into the financials, which I couldn't find an SEC filing for them because they are not required to report. I went to the OTC. They didn't have like in their disclosure filings. So I have to rely on the financials tab on the OTC. I don't know if you have that up for this one.
You pull it up for me.
That is the only place I could find their financials. which is saying something and a little terrifying. The
What's the scale on
second
this?
thing,
Thousands?
Their total revenue.
Let's
Yeah,
start
what
with
is
the
it? I was
balance
going to say, is this thousands? Like, what are we looking at?
we're looking at thousands. Let me double check on Webull, but I'm pretty sure we're looking at thousands, not millions. Yeah, it says up there value in thousands of USD.
Because 762K of revenue and a loss of, or operating loss of 43 million. Am I reading that right?
Yep. Hey, look, their operating loss isn't as big as their actual loss. Some tax credits in there.
Oh yeah, those valuable NOLs, right? And for the record, like what I hear.
Let me double check on the financials on Webull. Yes, it is.
Oh
indeed,
man.
it is indeed. Their revenue for Q4 of last year was 672,000. So let me tell you
Yeah.
before we move on.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess what this company's business is?
I was genuinely confused
Bio?
at this one.
Biotech?
No.
Oh,
So, you got one running with bears, or you want me to just reveal it?
Is this some pharmaceutical nonsense?
No,
that's
it
what I
is
said.
not.
Biotech. No.
No. So what they do is they are a solar futures market.
course
So they basically try and predict the weather to hedge solar panel production in Europe.
They try to predict the weather.
So when I first heard this, so basically they use weather reports to try and hedge solar panel output so that the price of the electricity from the solar panel output has a consistent cost. That
This is like the
even
company
though-
that prayed to God for oil.
No, not quite like that. Look, when I first heard that was their business model, I was like, this sounds a lot like what Enron was doing in the late stages before it collapsed, where it was basically making an energy futures market. Now, what was the big problem with Enron doing that was, well, their futures contracts, because it's a highly liquid asset, the
weather
valuation for these
futures.
assets were
Okay.
kind of hard to price.
Yeah.
Well, this is a first. I mean,
not a
meteorologists, like
first from what I
meteorology is
understand.
like they can't even get it right. Like it's the only like science you can be 90% wrong 100% of the time and still be called a scientist. So like,
What
I
was
mean,
funny
this
is when I was
risky.
looking into some of this, I'm not gonna lie, I did use some AI assistance, and when I was going through it and it explained, like I found out what the business model was. They used like Enron as one of the examples and another company I had never heard of. And I was
That's
like,
right.
well, thanks for confirming my suspicions about my bad vibes about this business model. But apparently that's what they do. They basically make a hedging futures market for solar panels, solar
Is
energy
that the
output.
price? That's the price in USD?
Yes. It's a very thinly traded stock. Like it trades like 14K volume.
Whoa.
How many outstanding shares do they have?
1 second. They have, let's hear, shares outstanding 73 million.
Does that include the dark pool shares?
Yes. Average volume over the past 3 months.
Does that
was
include the
12
counterfeit shares?
Average 3-month volume is 12,800 shares. So it's very
And what is
thinly traded
Vandersteel
on
saying
OTC.
about this stock?
That it's being naked shorted into the ground.
Into the ground.
I mean, that's not her exact words, but that's pretty much the gist you can garner from that.
I mean, when your operating income is like that compared to that, you don't need a CPA to tell you that one. Sometimes they short things. Sometimes they short things for good reasons.
Yeah, well, and most of the run up, like here, let me switch screens real quick so I can show you an actual chart, has been based on this. Like they got regulatory approval to make these futures contracts in Europe, and that has been why it has kind of had this run, was on the bullish news that that they would get this regulatory approval, and then they got this regulatory approval, and this is basically your stock on people's hopium. going from $5 a share to $38.60.
Then this is
This,
being
this
naked
reminds
shorted.
me of AZRH. It's a company that makes little to no money. In fact, loses quite a substantial amount of money and is basically running on people's hopes and dreams.
And she's saying this is being naked shorted.
Yeah. That they've gotten caught because it's running. Obviously, the shorts are being squeezed, Amy, even though I don't know what the SI is, but I can tell you what the cost to borrow is from when I posted this a couple days back. It was like 1.8%. Like that's a negligible cost to borrow. That means there's way more shares on offering than people that are even shorting it.
It's good.
So
it's really
so
good.
I don't know where you're getting this
It's
idea.
really good.
That,
It's just an illiquid stock.
yeah, that's
So, like,
that's all it is. It's
any-
a highly illiquid stock.
What's the volume that took it up that high? Has it
Yesterday's
always
volume
been-
was so I don't know what the
I mean, very
past-
little
like, I'd have to
volume
go check.
will
Let me look
move
here.
an illiquid stock.
Let me see if I can find. So on this big day where we had the big run up, we had what's that volume there? Should say it. I have it. Aha. Should view it. So on this day, the volume was 282,000. Oh, that's ridiculous above the average.
Yeah.
This day right here, we had a volume of 135. Here, this big fuck off candle was a volume of 50,000. Like these are all way above your average
But
trading.
this is still very
This was
thinly
back
traded.
last year though, so that's why the average has gotten lower. Let's look at some of these closer ones. So this one was 100,000 daily volume. Then we got 61, 28, 42, 44, and such. So like the reason it's ran is this is a stock that normally trades at like 14K volume, if not lower. And then suddenly you're getting bids for like 50,000 shares, 40,000 shares, 20,000 shares.
Right.
So that's all it is. It's a low float stock that's getting stuffed full of.
And I mean, I don't feel like this would be attractive to any short just because it's illiquid.
Yeah. Well, most
Shorts-
OTC shitcos are illiquid. That's why when I hear people talk about OTC companies that are being naked short or the evil shorts are crushing, it's like, why would I want to be trapped in an illiquid shitco on the OTC market? That's
right. And
the
that's
whole
not
idea.
shorts aren't
what's
looking
the-
for that. They're looking for very liquid, a lot of volume, being able to maneuver in and out. Like they're not looking to sit in a liquid shitco.
Like, am I reading that right? Market cap is 2.8 billion. Is that right? Am I reading that right?
Like there's not a lot of shares. Like even with the price it is, it's a micro cap.
Yeah. But does it say microcap or wait, the market cap is 2.8 billion?
Market cap.
keep-
Well, I guess so, right at
2.83
38.60,
billion.
yeah.
On 700K of revenue.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Well, I mean, SpaceX is gonna IPO at 2 trillion and they have 15
15
billion in
Yeah.
revenue,
We'll
so
get
like
to that.
fuck it.
But let me pull this back
You got about
up.
5 minutes. You got about 5 minutes to go. And then I'm gonna go grab some dinner with the wife.
Okay, so before we do that, let me get back over to this. I wanted your opinion on something really hilarious that came out as of recently, because you said you'd seen it. What were your thoughts on SRAD? I don't know if you heard about this too, Amy.
I didn't, just from what you briefly told me backstage.
So this is a company that does sportsbook betting, and it's kind of like a, how do we say it? Like a regulator almost of some of these sports books. They're supposed to be like doing KYC and authenticating that these are indeed good sports books. But Muddy Waters, and then the other one that did do the research on it was Callisto Research. Callisto did more of the European stuff. Muddy Waters did more of the Asian stuff. But a lot of what they found was that they were working with companies that, were illegal sports books, working in companies where, sports betting is illegal. Betting in general is illegal. Ties to organized crime. Bad financial controls where they've gone through 5 CFOs in the past 5 years. They
That's a good
had, what was it? that they said that they had material weakness in their financial statements
That's where the fun
by
start.
their own auditors. So since 2021, by the way, so this has been an ongoing thing. Like if you were the soon to be a CFO of this company running with bears, what's your screaming thoughts about a company that, according to the report, says 20 to 40% of their revenue may be disappearing. They may be losing their license or having to relinquish their ill-gotten gains, and that a third of the companies that they work with are illegal gambling operations.
I would wonder what happened in my career where like this is my best.
Sounds like a winner.
Because what is the deal with they acquired IMG Arena from Endeavor Group? Like, did you look at all that?
Yeah, I don't have it specifically in my notes, but yeah, there was a lot of
like Endeavor
different
pay. Like,
things.
I'm so confused by this one. Like, so like it's saying Endeavor paid Sports Radar, and they didn't. So Sports Radar didn't put any consideration up for IMG Arena, and didn't take any debt on. And then you look at the financials themselves, and they're not great, right? Like,
yeah, like unlike their competitor, they've made money, but there's a lot of problems with its revenue growth and stuff. A bunch of the companies that they work with, like 1xBet, FawnBet, Yahoo Group, Soft Swiss, OKVIP, and SBO Bet and Bet Boom. Some of them were like sanctioned entities from Russia. Like,
yeah, it's what they're saying. Like, almost a third of the platforms could have been operating illegally.
Yes.
So then it's like, yeah, maybe they're generating cash, but probably could too if I was doing illegal stuff. And so it's like you could just kind of question the whole thing, right?
Which is probably why they've gone through a bunch of CFOs, because if the CFO starts, going like, and they had subsidiaries too, where they said that instead of using the subsidiary, like instead of using the accounting group that they were using for the main company, they were using these little dinky accounting firms that in no way could manage, the complexities of auditing their, and that seems like a deliberate choice. Like,
oh yeah. yeah, like that is a thing where maybe some firms are on the smaller side and struggling, right? So you offer them money to kind of do your accounting that is complex that they can't do, right? You can kind of maybe like control the narrative a little better by doing that kind of stuff. Because this stuff does genuinely get complex, right? Because like it's a lot of the bigger number stuff, like when we talk ARO stuff, that stuff is like highly subjective, right? So if you don't have people that have a good grasp of the rules and where the line is and what the range could be, the numbers could get wildly off in a hurry, right? 'Cause especially on like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? If I just discount rate a couple percent, right? That makes a huge difference over 5 to 10 years, which is messing with the valuation of the company, right? Because you're talking about potentially what the company could be, and here you are, kind of like future forecasting off questionable things. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I really
we
don't.
even had a company responded to a comment from the Guardian. Sports Radar declined to answer a series of detailed questions from the Guardian, but insisted it works exclusively with licensed operators and upholds the highest ethical standards. Cool story, bro.
Give us the list then.
Yeah, I know, right? Cool story, bro. Can't answer a question, but you got the boilerplate PR comment to go with it.
Gotta love it. I really don't. I'm impressed where you find these things.
Yeah, I kind of read the Callisto one while I was at work, or listened to it be read back to me by electronic voice. So, yeah, I had a little fun listening to that one. I was just kind of dumbfounded with just how bad was.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into this one a little more this week. I gotta go travel for a client, so I'm gonna need some stuff to read. So I'll look into this one. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. I can talk a little more detail, because this one was just, I was looking at it like, is this right? Like, this just
yeah, it like that's what I had the feeling of. Like, it's just so bad. It's just like, are we for real here? But yeah, you said you only had a few minutes left, but it was great having you on Running with Bears. We're going to
Enjoyed it.
go on and talk about another shitco that Amy has a specific connection with right now. But it was great having you once again.
Yeah.
Be glad to have you on next time we have some really bad companies to talk about.
Yeah, you keep finding these things and keep causing me a heartburn. I'll come back on.
Yeah, sure.
All right, later, y'all.
Thanks for coming. Enjoy your dinner.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I have a little bit of a lead in. Look, Rob, when you're making comments like this, I'm not the biggest fan of Lindsey Graham either, but what does homosexuality have anything to do with it? I'm not aware of Lindsey Graham being homosexual, but you know what? I think I finally found the connection. He really fits in with the community. Let's see here. We got the audio. Oh, the audio was off, probably for a good reason. Docky's just the greatest person.
Are you talking about the
I'm specifically talking to you and your fucking faggot friends, yeah.
Oh, the faggot. Are you talking about the
I'm specifically talking to you and your fucking faggot friends, yeah.
Oh, the fag.
Right. Anyway, so last we left off, there was the on and off again, whether Rob was going to have the interview with Amy or if he wasn't. Beginning of the week, we heard that there was 3 people who were being considered or had applied for the position. And then it kind of went silent after that. We didn't hear much about it, except that Busy Brands was not really interested about hearing this debate. And if I remember,
are talking about or what they're going to clip or what they're going to say about us. We know what we're doing and we know what we can control. And if they're going to come out and make fun of us and poke fun and continue to be here, even if they're shareholders or not, who cares? That's all I was saying the other day. I don't care. Who the hell cares who Amy is or what she's going to debate on Robb Carter? I pretty much told Robb Carter, you want a shit show? Okay, have these people on the fucking show. It's on you. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your show. You know,
I'm not going to tell you what you should do with your show, but I'm going to heavily imply that you doing it is a dumb idea and that we will definitely frown at you for doing it and basically browbeating him into not having this happen.
But he was determined.
Yeah, well, he was pretty determined about it because then we got, before we play this, maybe you can explain this because I don't listen to a whole lot of these spaces on X, but you had made it pretty aware to me that so there was this space that Busy Brands was holding. Junk Savvy was there and Rob decided to pop in.
Yep.
Did he just kind of pop in on his own? What was kind of
No, I think Busy asked him to come there. He had Dan Ball on, Busy's trying to prove, his clout, I guess, with all of his contacts that he always loves to talk about. And so he had Dan Ball come in there, and then he had Rob come in there, and then he pulled Rob up and immediately volunteered Junk Savvy to be the debater because nobody's heard anything. And Rob's like, they're attacking me and blah, blah, blah. When really, I think it's just people are like, why so quiet? So are you going to play that audio or?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play here. 1 second. Let me rewind it back. We cannot continue the show talking about this without getting, the comments of the Regina George of meme stocks.
To tweet her, set a date.
What is the best date for it? I think she wants to do it on a Monday.
Just set a date, Rob.
Okay.
That's how she talks to him.
And how do I make it so it doesn't, so it's not skewed? Do you want me to?
But here's the thing, Rob. She's already hedging.
Pause that.
Well, if it fits into.
Yeah.
He's like, how do I make it so it's not skewed? Meanwhile, I don't know if it's in this clip, but you'll hear him call us despicable. You'll hear him call us shills. I'm not sure if it's in this clip, but he's like, when he's leaving,
it's already skewed.
I love you guys. Yeah, this is absolutely skewed. And it's, so I don't know what they're,
someone get me really that clip. I would love it because I've already got several shorts lined up because this has been a ridiculous episode of stupidity.
Well, and it's really funny because you'll hear her here in just a second.
My schedule. Right. I ain't changing my schedule for this.
Yeah. So pause that.
Yeah.
So she says that I'm trying to hedge by saying, because I said he like threw some arbitrary dates out there, and I had clients on both days. So I was like, that's not going to work. You need to check with both participants, right? Like Mondays work best for me because I, you know, I'm my weekends are Sunday, Monday, not Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, you run your own business. Rob should understand. He
correct.
runs his own business.
Correct.
Now.
So she's like, she's already trying to hedge by saying she's not going to change her schedule. And you're goddamn right. Like, I'm not going to change my schedule.
Which is
for
funny
you,
because Rob, I
Abby,
think, in the
or
same
anyone.
space.
Like, this is my livelihood, and I'm certainly not going to be adjusting anything to come on and talk to you, darling. But so you'll hear her, and she starts going, she's like frantically. And
right, because in this clip, Rob doesn't he say, well, if we could, you know, we could do this on the weekend, we can do it pre-recorded if that makes it work or whatever. He's trying to you know, get this to work somehow.
She says here that she doesn't want to do it, but you'll hear it. She's like, she rattles off, like, I'm gonna let you play this, and she rattles off, and then during this space, I sent Rob a tweet saying, I'm listening to the space that you're in. Tell Junk Savvy I can't wait. And the frantic fast talking and deflection won't work against me. And you hear her change. Like, she goes from this
she rattles
motor
off
mouth thing
like,
to then she's like, well, Rob. And I was cracking up. But you can go ahead, play it. So she starts out with like, well, I don't really want to do it.
I will say it's going to be a lot of, well, the CEO's this, well, the assets this, that, you know, she's not going to talk about. And by the way, we are not going to share our evidence publicly that we have of short positions.
I love this because it's like, but you're the one making the accusations. The burden of proof is on you. Like, I get if you don't want to get super specific, if you think you're bringing litigation, which it's been what, 4 years now, guys. Like,
well, I'll have evidence.
Run out of time.
So, I mean,
you got cards. You better play them.
This is going to be a pretty weird debate because I will have evidence. So
yeah, I think it doesn't, at least in their calculation, because like to their fans, it's not going to mean anything. It is worse for them.
They thought that
go on Rob's show and get torched publicly in front of everyone by Amy. That's what they're worried about. And it's better to look like a coward and a cuck than it is to get on Rob's show and get pounded. And then your entire grift is over.
I think they were banking on me not doing it.
Right.
And so he was like, how's a week for Monday? I was like, yep, I'll be there. Like, so they were banking. That's what she's saying. She's like, she's already hedging, like trying to make it sound like I wouldn't do it. And I'm like,
right.
No, girl, I will. And don't worry, I will have things to show. So
like what Vent had pointed out, like he approached me once and I said, you know, if you want to do it, that's not on your show because I have a job, you know, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I can't do it on your time schedule, but I'd be happy to do it anytime after. Vent was willing to go on the show, but both times, both of us got bounced because it wasn't the way Rob wanted it. He didn't act. Now, I think that's different from this time. I think he sees the view numbers, especially since he's indie now and having Amy on and doing this debate, it would pull huge numbers. But the people, and that's why I think this time he actually wants to go through with it. But I think the people on the MMTLP side, the like cult leaders who their entire reputation would ride on this kind of a debate, they definitely do not fucking want to do it. Absolutely not.
Well, and I think here's why. Like, and Semi said it, you know, a little bit earlier. He was like, look, like, who am I? I'm no one. I'm a retail trader, right? Like, I have no dog in this fight. Like, so I'm going to come at it from, like, I don't have the emotional and financial, like, craziness that leads us. Like, I'm just talking from, like, market mechanics. And, well, here's the S1 that told you exactly what was going to happen. And here's this that tells you exactly this, right? Like I can point to things for my arguments. Like her arguments are things that they made up collectively as a community. So if you can't prove that, then I don't know how you think you're going to win this debate.
Right.
We don't owe her shit.
No,
we shared it with the appropriate individuals.
Oh.
And their response has been very telling. So no, they're not. We're not going to be backed in a corner to share that information. But here's the bottom line. And I said this to you in a post. The MMTLP fiasco exists for one reason. And then the reason for that reason. And that is FINRA.
And then the reason for that reason.
2 days before they told the public
That's not what happened, but okay, whatever. This is their same bullshit.
Yeah, it's like all of their arguments are arguments that they have come up with collectively as a group. It's the same with BBYQ and the NOLs and all of the shit that Jake would spew, right? These are all just made up things. Like, and these folks believe in it and hold on to it with all of their might.
They have nothing else to believe in. Their money's gone.
And present it as fact, and it's not facts.
Could close out our positions.
Well, you don't need to worry about FINRA closing out your position, whatever. The company did that for you when they canceled the shares.
Well, they don't even understand. They still don't even understand the too late to cancel thing, right? They think that the too late to cancel means that it was it was executed. It couldn't be canceled, therefore it was executed. And all too late to cancel.
No, it means that it couldn't be executed. It was canceled.
Right. It's too late for you to cancel. It does not mean that it's too late for the brokerage to cancel it, right? So like they think that their limit orders that they manually set were too late to cancel, and that the broker just have to pay them that money.
The receipts are sealed. We sealed the receipts. They're sealed in sealed court documents.
Well, and you know, that's fine. You can come on to a debate with 0 receipts, but I will have mine. So be ready for that, sister.
Yeah.
For like 3 hours, and you were explaining it to me, and my head was spinning with all the information that you had.
Of course, it was spinning. Like that's
because
her
it's all made up.
debate tactic to keep you from being able to keep up with the bullshit.
That's
so you
right.
can't sit there and go for 5 seconds and be like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense."
Yeah.
This, and
well,
this
he doesn't know very
line
much about the market, so he doesn't know what makes sense.
Yeah, he's a real easy mark to convince.
Yeah.
That you had in that noggin of yours, but I think I get I think I get the gist of it. It's not in my wheelhouse necessary to understand the markets at the level that you guys do, but I get the context of what's going on, and it seems to me like getting transparency should be easy to do 3.5 years later, and it would only make sense that there's something being hidden if you guys haven't got to the resolution at this point. You know, just common sense would tell you something's going on. And get it to everybody and start getting out that information.
Well, Rob, apparently I'm frantic. Yeah, because
you were just frantic in that first part of the clip where you were jumping around.
And watch your voice change. Watch your voice change.
Do that.
Well, I will say that I just want to say if the other side is listening in on the Spaces call,
they are.
When Amy reached out to my producer during my show, you responded during that show that you would take the debate. So the only thing I was questioning was John Berta gave me a few names, and he said, you need to talk to these 3. These are probably the ones that know the situation the best. And that's why I said there's 3. They kept going, well, they're trying to hide. I'm like, I'm not trying to hide anything.
Okay, slow it down so you can hear her voice when she starts talking to him again. She's like, well, Rob. She actually sounds like she like a record player when you turn it down.
Just let me get in touch with everybody. But bottom line is, if you guys want to do it a week from Monday, it could be during my show, which would be great. But it doesn't have to be. If anybody's working and wants to do it later on in the evening, we can just open that up. We can turn on our, we can stream it to all of our platforms later on in the evening.
But it is just ridiculous on his face. Like I said, first of all, who the hell are they?
Which is like this back to the point. She doesn't want to do this. Who are they? Like he offered. He made the offer. None of us.
Who are you? Who are you? Like
that's funny. It's like she just.
Why I even hesitate? Because Rob, it's like why platform them? They don't matter.
Yeah, like she. It's such a fake bravado where she tries to pretend like she's above it all while just proving even more that she's a catty bitch.
And they're going to have nothing to do with our resolution. They have failed at their job, right? But the point is if you were confident in your position,
then you would come on Rob's show and debate. But you aren't confident in your position.
I'm very confident in mine.
Like that's what's going on here, and you're trying to wiggle your way out of it.
You would be demanding transparency as well. If there really is not,
we regularly call out how bad things have been at the SEC more often and more consistently than you have. while you guys were all crying for Trump and to get rid of Gary Gensler, we've been pointing out that it's been the drizzling shits since Trump got into office as far as regulatory compliance, and they've been making it worse on the regular. Like, I don't even want to hear this shit
for some reason, like that we're worried about transparency or something. Like, show it. Like, what do you think that I am worried about? Get transparency. Show it.
I mean, yeah, like that's the thing. Is like it's the meme of the crying behind the smirking mask. That's literally what she's doing right now.
I have not failed at my job. I run a very profitable and successful business. So, I mean, I'm doing great.
Lies on junk. She knows she's in over her head. Yeah, pretty much.
A short problem. Then demand transparency, and then let's figure out
there
why
isn't
there
a short problem.
Got that
Rob,
kind of vibe.
That's the thing. They have no platform until we platform them.
See how she's slowed down? They have no funny.
We regularly, like, tonight is an anomaly because we're kind of talking about lowbrow OTC topics, but we regularly out-platform Rob's show. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Mm-hmm. Like, we beat him consistently on YouTube. We can beat him consistently on X. The only time Rob outperforms us is when your cult shows up to goon watch his show when he panders to you. That's the only time he beats us in the numbers. So what fucking platform?
Well, and I don't know what she's thought. Like, I mean, I have more followers than she does. Like, just because you're like all botted out with your fucking frantic tweets, like,
and I guarantee
and like they're the only ones that are trying to compare numbers. Like, I'm certainly not. Like, I'm not coming on to do this for engagement or numbers. I'm coming on to this. I've been telling Junk Savvy to come debate me forever. She would never do it.
Blocks all
and then
of us.
later in the thing, she's like, I've spent 8,000 hours debating them. And I'm like, no, you haven't, because you're a fucking coward and you block out. She has never spoken a word to me. Like, one-on-one, her and I.
Let's be honest.
I know, it's great. But she has never actually spoken a word to me. So, like, when she says that she has spent 8,000 hours debating me, like, no, you fucking haven't. You've spent 8,000 hours on Twitter talking to your fucking self and a group of people who think that you hung the fucking moon, when you have quite literally said that your first entry into the market was DJT. That was the first stock she ever bought. And then after DJT, she bought MMTLP. So, like,
wait, so she didn't even buy DJT. She bought, what was that? The like DWAC. Yeah.
Yeah. So please, sister, you have not spent any time debating me.
I kind of wish Platinum was here for this next segment.
Whenever True hits a wall, he goes back to at John Berta for approval, only to turn around and blame him for the guardrail idea. Hey, John, get it out of the way and come to.
What even was the guardrail idea? I'm so confused.
So, like, I think it was, to the best of my knowledge, it was like the 2 days of trading with position close only. That was like in some sort of, I don't want to say like protective bubble, but like that the guardrails were like basically they were going to set the parameters around these 2 days.
That's not how that works.
Right. Exactly.
All right.
Drew's rescue for the 1,000th time. Hey, John Berta, no need for you to defend me by telling the truth. Every time this lying low-life scumbag piece of shit lying retarded looking retard makes him say.
Hey, I have one comment about this entire thing. Retarded looking retard. Are we like 5 years old? Like,
yes.
You can't come.
Well, that's
you
the
have
thing.
time
like,
to write this out. Come up with a better insult.
Yeah.
Please.
That's the thing, is like they hate each other. Right? Like, we just listened to Jack and all of his friends. Busy was in there all talking about Glass Guy and saying the worst things.
Talking about how they hope he dies.
Glass Guy. Like, yeah. And then like, they're sitting in spaces with him and they're like, talking like they're all a bunch of fucking fakes. That's what they are. They're all fake. They hate each other. They hate everyone. And I actually, well, just on that, like, here's the, I saw that Nikita Bear guy put a tweet out today that kind of resonated with me, and you're not gonna like it because
could you hold that while I finish?
Oh yes, finish the song.
Yeah.
Finish the song.
Look like a jackass. Often he deflects, and I'm done being tolerant. Even though you asked me to lay off, I laid off for too long. Hey, busy. Why did you stop bringing Porky the Pumper around? What was it? Capybara called you a low-tier stock pumper. How is every single stock you ever discussed on Spaces doing? How's that 500 million shares? Where are them blue sheets you were supposed to get from your contact? How'd that attorney that you brought into this community work out for people? And where's all that money people donated for the movie? Shut your mouth, grifty brands. Go give me that letter from the president, bitch. Go fetch me my money. Go give me that letter from the president, bitch. Go give me that letter from the president, bitch. Go give me that letter from the president, bitch. Go give me that letter from the president,
bitch. Like, I just love the cattiness at the end. Is like, go get me that letter from the president, because we know that letter didn't fucking happen. That was absolute nonsense. Like, you think President Trump, while he's given pay-for-play pardons and running crypto scams, gives a shit about your fucking little stock problems? Okay, yeah, cool story, bro.
So Nikita said, one of the most important things that Elon taught me, and I know you're going to hate that, but I do like it. People engaging in fraud are always the first and loudest to complain. I was like, that is fitting.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's a good transition from that to, oh boy, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about on the bankruptcy docket. Man, it has been fire this week. First we had the hearing, which, to be honest, how the hearing ended was probably the best result. As much as I believed that, you know, still that this whole discovery process and using 2004 in a very abusive manner that wouldn't be normally used in a bankruptcy filing is absolute fucking horseshit. That being said, the outcome that did happen was probably the best you could have asked for, because discovery, even in a normal context, is pretty broad. And then we're talking about 2004 discovery, which is almost basically a fishing expedition, so long as it's related to the debtor. That being said, like, let me see here. I think I have a great explanation of the actual
ruling.
Well, actually, let's go through how people responded to it. First, we had Robb Carter linking to the fucking PP show of all places. MMTLP judge sides with shareholders and first ever rare historic win. Like,
okay,
hyperbole
not
much?
the first ever, by the way. It's not. You want to know how I know?
Not asking for FINRA dark pool data, just to be clear.
Well, they're not. Well, they're not. Like, so here's the. Hold on, I'm going to show you.
Well, I before you get to your post,
go ahead. Go ahead.
At the end of this, but like then we had Michael talking about exposing the RICO crimes, which,
of course,
cool story. And then we had the biggest screed of them all, fucking George, going off on a tear about how, you know, FINRA was shaking and scared in the courtroom of that the ruling went against them and everything. And it's like, oh
yeah, there was a lot of talk about body language, like, which I think was probably just him. He was like, I don't know if he said, I don't know if he was reading AI like during the thing, and he was looking from side to side and da 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 da, and I'm just like, he's on Zoom, so he was probably just trying to ruffle things around or do whatever he's doing. Like,
he's probably got his whole notes and everything there, and paralegals
Zoom things with Pulte. They were all over the place. Like, give me a break with this bullshit. But you know, so it's funny because they're like, this is the first ever. Let's just stay on that real quick. I'm going to share my screen with you here, because it's not the first ever time that FINRA has given up information. And you know how I know from
Treasury or the individuals versus is and again, there's many different types of damage models, but the best one we believe is the but-for price, the difference between what shares were sold at, either as a company out of its treasury or the individuals, versus what they could have been sold at, but for the manipulation. And that manipulation could either be
You
in
want me to skip
commissions
ahead
or it
to
could be
the
in
chart?
omissions, something that somebody omitted doing or something
It's
that
only like
somebody
3 minutes
intentionally
here.
did.
In Texas.
Yes, we're
Okay.
representing Sorrento and its subsidiary right
Okay,
now.
so let me ask you a
We've been
question.
representing them for 6 months.
Oh, guess what? She's about to ask.
Okay, so let
ask
me ask you a
wrong on
question.
something.
Will Meta be seeking any type of injunctive relief like what was done in the Sorrento case where the judge ordered a share count and then ordered the shorts to cover their positions?
They
Will
didn't.
Meta be seeking any sort of injunctive
He
relief in that
corrects
manner?
her.
Can you pause that for a second, actually?
Yeah,
Because
well, number one,
as
that's
someone who
really not,
actually was there when
with
the
no
Sorrento
disrespect.
case
He
happened.
corrects her. He corrects her. That's what I was like. The funniest part is
Okay.
I'm like, oh, Junk Savvy was wrong about something. Shocking.
Shocker.
No, but he corrects her right now, and then he describes.
Okay, go ahead then.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was going to
He
do.
doesn't let it fly.
That's not an accurate representation of what happened.
Okay.
I don't have it exactly in front of me. The
It's wrong
judge
about
who's
everything.
no longer on the bench because of alleged impropriety.
Yeah.
Basically, we're now with a successor federal judge who I've been in front of, who's very good. And the predecessor I thought was good. It's just he's had some, different issues that you can look up and figure out on your own. But at the end of the day, he did order a share count.
Yeah.
I don't think he ordered positions to be covered. If he did, I don't remember that in the court orders.
Right.
Nonetheless, that case was withdrawn and abandoned. And now, as you'll probably know, I'll tell you what's in the public record. I can't share anything else. We moved to get a 2004 examination and
So
seeking
familiar.
documents. We got those from the DTC. We got those from FINRA.
Right.
Now we're seeking those from the audit, spun out entity out of FINRA, which is a audit system basically that they have, consolidated audit.
So he acknowledges that it was spun out of FINRA.
So basically, there's presently a motion pending in that case.
Listen to what he says.
And we're fixing to fight over those documents. Sadly, the Security and Exchange Commission has come in and joined the bad guys against us, saying we don't need that information.
Same thing that happened here.
I'll be arguing that motion probably in the next.
But to clarify,
anyway, but it's playbook, right? Which so like
they gave them the option to close if they wanted to, but they did not. There was no like force.
Not required, right? Because shorts you can't require them to close. But anyway, my point was that this is his playbook. He's run this playbook before. And it's not the first ever because he tells you right there that.
And it didn't work out for Sorrento, just to be clear.
No, it didn't.
Like they got liquidated. Shares worth 0.
Yeah, but this is already Chapter 7. So they're not trying to get.
Right.
They're not trying to reorg this.
Right. I'm just saying in Sorrento, it started out and it was an 11. And when the plan came down, shareholders get 0. Right. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, I think your post was a pretty clear summation of what happened at the hearing. Like most of the data, like a third of the data that they asked for was already publicly available. The other third.
Right. The 4 and 5 is the TRF stuff. And that's the one with the 25 million responsive, right? And he basically said, I need you guys to work together to make sure that this is not too burdensome and not too costly. Because
the estate
he said that the estate is going to pay for it, correct? And so I don't know if they believe they're going to get 25 million documents, but I guarantee you that's not what they're going to get. So he basically was like, you guys work together to see if you can work out something with this. But if it is too burdensome or it is too costly, he is going to quash it.
Yeah.
But he wants them to work together to figure out what it is. And so like,
yeah, because like the big thing that came out from that hearing that I thought was interesting was that the lead lawyers that the trustee had hired had been left in the dark by West Christian, who told FINRA that they were not going to give them an extension, which forced them to rush through to get to the motion to quash, which is what made all this get all fucky to begin with.
That's right. And they what they really wanted, right, regardless of what Jack tells you, what they really wanted, and during the hearing, they wanted the CAT data and they wanted the FINRA communications,
which they were never going to get. And and especially because of exactly what FINRA said. You've got George Palakaris, who's currently being sued by the SEC on the same stuff, and you're going to want him to give over the data, give over our specific contacts for this investigation? Go fuck yourself.
Well, and they argued pretty hard. Like, they did push back, like, because they were like, well, then let us just have the
third party,
the not privileged stuff, right? Like this.
Yeah. And they're like, what not privileged stuff would there be?
Yeah, everything that's not privileged. And FINRA fought them back down on that, and they won. But so it was the CAT data that they wanted, and it was the FINRA communications, because like FINRA was like, well, you and John Savio will tell you this herself, right? That they narrowed the scope for Citadel, Anson, and Virtue. And FINRA was like, are they going to do that same thing for us? And the trustee was basically like, no, because that's what they want. They want FINRA communications. Like, I think probably
because George Palakaris is the one that's really running the show, and he wants to get some sort of strategic advantage over the SEC by using the bankruptcy. That's my theory.
They wanted that, and they wanted the CAT data, and both of those got quashed. And so Jack will tell you that they said they wanted 1 through 3 the most or something, and it's not. They wanted 4 through 9, and they were like, basically like, we can live without 1 through 3 because that's all publicly available. You can see it right there. The links are provided for you. Mm-hmm. But they were like, but we'll still take it, kind of thing, right? But they want the wanted most 4 through 9, right? And so they got a maybe 4 through 9 if it's not overly burdensome and costly, and no on 6 through 9.
Which was crazy that they thought that they were going to get past the investigative file privilege to even get that stuff. Like, they said, maybe once you get post litigation, you can make arguments for certain parts of it, but like, absolutely not at this pre-litigation stage.
Right. And so, and that's another thing, right? Is that now they've shifted from, well, this data means that we'll get it. That means we'll get the CAT data. And it's like, look, if this data, they haven't even stated a claim yet. I don't even think these folks understand that this is not a lawsuit. Like, they have not filed a lawsuit. They have not stated a claim.
Pre-action discovery stuff that they're basically.
That's correct. So they have to file a claim, and then we start all over again, right? It's a different process. Not start all over again, but it's going to be a different process, and they're gonna be able to file motions. Go ahead.
Which gets us back to another topic that was sort of brought up at the hearing, but really wasn't addressed because they wanted to deal with the FINRA stuff, was that because of and I think we covered it during the last show, that basically the other non-parties are like, look, you sent us these fucking documents basically saying preservation warnings. Yeah. Obviously, you see us as a litigation target.
Right. So West Christian was on the call there to explain the ESI stuff.
And backpedal.
Right, saying that the SEC had, which is not true. They have not. The rule has not been changed yet, right? It's out for public comment. So there has not been a rule change. But he kept saying there's been a rule change, and now they're going to try to delete the data. So I sent out these ESI, but it's not.
Even if the rule changed, they know they have pending litigation. They preserve it anyway. Right. Like, this is all just an intimidation tactic. It got out of hand for him.
When Fountain came in, because Fountain was there, he came in to address the ESI thing, and Spraker was like, basically like, well, we're addressing FINRA right now, so you'll have to wait for, I think, May 7th or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And they think that means that Judge Spraker just adores them and wasn't going to let Fountain, but really what it was that he had a hard stop at 3:30. So
hard stop, and we've got to deal with this thing, and it's very cumbersome. Which also brings us to another thing that we sort of talked about also last week that's starting to get a little bit more in the wheels, and that's the litigation funding stuff. that also will be brought up at that hearing, because again, it looks
Citadel
really shady.
filing- Well, so Citadel just filed too a new opposition that is pretty spicy. I don't think you probably haven't seen it because I think it just came out like last night, maybe, or the night before last.
I'm trying to see it here, and I'm not seeing it on the bankruptcy.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Go right
I'll pull it
ahead.
up.
Do you know what the docket number is?
Yes, well, yeah, I can tell you right now.
Because I know there's a bunch of the oppositions to the Scott Trout stuff, which, to say briefly, there was a lot of confusion with that. People thought that they were it was the normal stuff, but basically a bunch of the parties came in and said that Scott is not the trustee and he's not doing it for a purpose that advances the bankruptcy, and he doesn't have standing because he's an MMTLP shareholder, which we'll get into that train in a second here.
2728 is the docket number.
2728. Oh, response to the trustee's motion for litigation funding ceiling. Okay, one second.
Oh, I didn't realize that Fountain worked for Quinn Emanuel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the interesting part, I mean, the whole thing is pretty interesting, but the interesting stuff, at least for me, was the waterfall stuff about how it's paid out. And but it's really like the history of Parabellum, and then like how they have this the waterfall and the payout, and how it's not, from their point of view, equitable for the estate. It's equitable for the lenders and the attorneys. Yeah, is basically what they're saying.
I'll have to actually read this because I haven't gotten the chance to. I'll have to bookmark that.
So they're basically
there's a lot of stuff that I have bookmarked that is playing catch up on. That's all legal stuff that I probably will have to do in an extra because that's usually when we do that. So we're not spending every time talking about every kernel.
Well, and they address the some of West Christian's conflict in there as well. Yeah, well, there's a lot of that.
But yeah, there was one thing that did come out of it that you also mentioned. Let me find here. Yes. And that was the trustees' statements, or the decal that was added by George Palakaris, basically saying that, because we're really tired of Scott Trout. I totally believe, because they were kind of on the fence as to whether MMTLP shareholders should have standing, or they would address it at another time. But now it's
well, actually, what happened was
Scott Trout.
Well, what Spraker said was that Scott filed a POI and he has standing insofar as or at least until the
trustee takes it away,
challenges it, not takes it away.
And now she seems to be challenging it.
And she had not challenged it up to this point, but now they are challenging it. And
yeah, because Scott's starting to poke around and they are not liking it.
Right. But
which, to be fair, I find it really hard to believe that MMTLP shareholders have any standing, all the rights and claims and all that stuff left with the spin out to NextBridge. So NextBridge shareholders have claims over the NextBridge stuff, but they have nothing to do with this bankruptcy. But that also brings back the question, why should they be able to get discovery then for the MMTLP stuff?
Well, right. And the trustee had them all filling out POIs, right, for MMTLP. And I think it was sort of left like, well, maybe that'll be included. Maybe, like it was the sort of, I don't know what to call it, but it was like, we don't know if it'll work out, but maybe it will, and maybe we'll be able to get you some money kind of thing, at least in my opinion. But the interesting parts about George's declaration here were a couple of things. The MMTLP represented Meta's unlisted Series A preferred shares, which began trading on the OTC market on October 7th, 2021, Without the authorization request of the company, on October 6, 2021, FINRA notified the company that it had signed the ticker symbol MMTLP to the Series A shares. So what we had heard in the past is that nobody knew, right? We were fishing or, you know, I don't know, walking around the grocery store and all of a sudden there was just money in the account and nobody knew that it was going to trade. Well, they did. And that they were alerted the day before. So that part was interesting. Then, as a result of the NextBridge spinoff, each holder of MMTLP as of December 12th, 2022 record date received 1 share of NextBridge hydrocarbon stock for every MMTLP share held, and the MMTLP Series A preferred were canceled by the issuer at the time of December 14th, I believe it is. Yeah, 2022 distribution. So for all of this, like, they changed the corporate action, they did this, they did that, and I mean, they didn't. They did exactly what they was in the corporate action, and you know, there's no argument there that the corporate action was changed or that they had done anything wrong really with that. So since the December 14th, they've operated as an independent company and SEC reporting issuer. Like, that tells you right there that they are not private. They are an SEC reporting issuer. They're not private, not private, not private. They still publicly report. Anyway, they Meta distributed all of its equity interest in NextBridge Hydrocarbons to MMTLP holders in the spinoff, and following the distribution does not own NextBridge Hydrocarbon stock or exercise control over NBH. NBH files its own reports with the SEC, albeit not well. Under a separate SIC, reflecting that Meta and NextBridge Hydrocarbons are separate corporate registrants.
Legal entities.
Accordingly, NBH shares are not property of Meta or Meta's estate. So that sentence there, that tells me that, like, any idea that they were going to be fighting for you, like, they can't, because it is not property of Meta, right? They can only go after property of the estate. So
speaking of NextBridge, did you see this?
We're moving on from this, huh?
Yeah.
There was one last one, but that's fine. We can,
oh, sorry. Go right ahead then. Sorry.
No, I already closed it out. It's too late. You ruined it.
Okay.
Just kidding. Go ahead. I did see this, but I did not read it through. I really only just kind of glanced through the first. Are they trying to say
They're
that
trying to do alternative service through his X account? That's what they want to do.
And then they posted his phone number, so a pretty dick move.
Which also
she redacted it, but then her boyfriend posted it.
Well, at least good for guess who in that case. I'll give points for that.
But then her boyfriend posted it and made sure everybody was harassing him.
Oh, awesome. So the thing here is that in order to do alternative service, you have to have exhausted all other tried to effectuate service, as you know, in whatever opportunities you could have. And if Jeff Davies, what he said is correct, he sent them where in Mexico to serve him that he resides, and for them to serve him by that manner. So if it's reasonable to believe, because supposedly he told his wife, who told them, or told the person that did service on his ex-wife, then they know where to serve him, and alternative service is not appropriate because they know exactly where to serve him, and that this is a bullshit filing.
Well, so according to Junk Savvy, they don't have to go through Hague because Jeff was like tweeting about it, and
that's not how that works.
That they're saying that because he was tweeting about it, that he is aware of the lawsuit, and therefore they don't have to go through Hague. That's what she's telling everyone.
That's not how service works. Okay. No. Set down, bitch. I work at a courthouse. That's not how that works. That's not how service works. Okay. You have to actually attempt to effectuate service via the normal legal method, because there's an entire official process. And part of that official process is what makes it proper service. I would have to dig up the exact wording and legalese for that, but that's what courts recognize, that there is a formal process that you go through so that way they can confirm that the person has proper notice. The fact that you're aware of a lawsuit is not proper notice. And the fact that you're talking about a lawsuit that is against you is not proper notice. Like, you being aware of the lawsuit, sure, you can waive service, but it is the duty of the plaintiff to give you proper service and serve you with the documents. It's not
So
how
basically
that works.
they're just trying to get around Hague here, right?
Yes, pretty much 100%. They don't want to have to go through Hague. And Jeff knows that is the process, and he made them aware of what they need to do, and they don't want to be bothered by that. So they want to take a shortcut, and they hope that the court will be ignorant enough to go along with them on it. Let's see here.
Well, how strict are judges usually with this? Will they?
Well, I mean, Jeff may have to appear in the case in the limited circumstance of pointing out that they didn't serve him properly, but like, there's no one here to tell him basically that they didn't serve them properly or that has standing to inform him of such. So, I mean, the judge probably sua sponte will be like, are you sure you haven't tried another address? Are you sure you haven't tried another method? Like, you'd at least have to go through, service via newspaper or something before that, but like alternative service to his like account, like you've got to at least try. And it's clear that they did their one thing they wanted to do and they don't want to try anymore, even though it's pretty obvious where to serve him at. So yeah, I don't know what they think that they're going to get away with there, but best of luck to you in your senior year. Have you, I think there's only one of the mainstream topics that we'll get to, because I know you will be totally open to it and it will be right in your wheelhouse. And then we will skip to the handful of leftover stuff we have.
Did you see my tweet about it?
No, I didn't.
Go here. I loved it.
So while she's digging that up,
I thought it was so fitting. Here, it's right here. It's already up on my screen. Let me share this with you. Whoops. Oh, where's my thing? Oh, there we go. My menu went away to share. I was like, oh no, where's my plus sign?
Beep. I
love it. I thought it was just like the most perfect thing, and he's like pointing. It's right there.
It's like, yeah, right. I find it hilarious because like they've been pretty hard on this. Like, even what was it, the head of the committee, the Senate committee, they weren't going to even talk about it until they.
But it said it was coming from pressure from senators. Did you read that?
Yeah, like because they're
going to turn it over to like
deal
a
with your Fed
group.
nominee until you fix this.
Right, and they're going to turn it over to like a watchdog group.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying like the Kevin Warsh thing, right? And
yep.
Yeah.
Undaunted by his recent clown show of trying to promote this, along with using his political station to go after other people.
Yeah.
This was great.
Into homes. And for a long time, especially over the last 4 years under Joe Biden, nobody could afford a home. And so President Trump has come in and crushed affordability. He's
crushed affordability. He's made it worse for people to afford.
Yeah, he sure has. He has crushed that.
He sure has crushed affordability. He's doing a great job.
I mean, is his head just like expanding? Like,
yeah, it's like a balloon. Yeah.
It really like if you go back to just like your interview with him, it's I don't know. Like, thought your head, your noggin stopped.
I thought that was a good Freudian slip.
That was great.
He's crushed affordability.
That's right. Nobody can afford a house.
With you at all.
Yeah, 100%. Might be the first time I've ever agreed with him.
You're right.
Of inflation that's gone on, and so it's very proper that we're focused on credit scores. People
Scott
they
Turner
look at their
looks
FICO
like
score
he's trying to hold
oftentimes,
back a
Charles,
fart.
and they think, man, this isn't reflective of what I've really actually been paying on time.
Yeah.
And so this will hopefully allow more people to access a home who can frankly afford to do so.
You know, when
Like he just rambles on about
Who
nothing.
can frankly
all
afford
at
to
once.
do so? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Like,
frank about that.
So of course we get, sycophants at the PP from PP going like, there's our boy Bill Pulte making American housing great again.
Isn't it incredible to see how much he was around in our community, how we all got to know him, and now he's doing incredible and huge things for generations to come?
Just
Oh,
just a whole bunch of fucking.
isn't it incredible how he got an FHFA position and you guys still have nothing and think
Yeah, I know, right?
you're going to get paid from a bankruptcy?
I love, however, how the Fannie and Freddie subreddit has no time for him. Every time Pulte opens his mouth, the stock dumps.
Yep,
which is true
because
as
they
soon as
all
that
think
interview
that
happened, it dumped.
right because he doesn't talk about the conservatorship.
Yeah.
Look, for anybody
He
who
has
thinks
no
if
control. He's a tool.
Well, and like he may have put himself on the board, right? Because like if it comes out of conservatorship, then the FHFA position goes away. His position only exists because to oversee the conservatorship, right?
Right.
So like Pulte doesn't want the conservatorship to go away.
But he also hedged his bets by making himself.
He did. He hedged his bets by solidifying himself, into the companies. But that's still just a board seat, right? Like he didn't make himself CEO. But yeah, that like it was just a backup plan for him to be on the board. But yeah, it's so hilarious that these people think that he's like
their man.
Uh-huh.
So I've got.
You will be disappointed. Everybody always has been.
I've got one thing that I tried to float to you, I think, when we were in the middle of getting the show started. I'm going to ask the question here. Have you read Virtu's reply in the Asian broadband lawsuit?
Mm-mm. Is this what you've been posting in the chat?
I didn't post in the chat, but
I don't even know about this case.
You don't? I thought we'd mentioned the Asia broadband lawsuit. It's another baggy company, AABB.
Oh yeah, we have. I didn't know it was Virtu, I guess.
Yeah, they sued Virtu and a couple others.
Right.
But this motion to
listening.
dismiss, I'm not going to go into all of it. But man, there are some bangers in here. I said we were going to be eating good tonight when I posted this on YouTube. And this is quite possibly the most hilarious thing, ever past that. So, where is the good part of this? Let's see here. The complaint is nearly impossible to parse. It is heavy on technical jargon, spoofing, bid layering, wash trading, naked short selling, quote stuffing, and micro stuffing. Was this written by BAM Investor? Did he write this?
It contains no actual facts because they never do. I just gotta grab something real quick. Just keep reading.
Yeah, no problem. Construed charitably, the complaint appears to allege that defendants engaged in market manipulation in June, July, and December of 2025 that purportedly negatively impacted AABB's share price. The complaint does not actually identify specific manipulative conduct, nor how any alleged misconduct affected AABB's share price. Instead, it offers only vague references to defendants' isolated quotes on the OTC markets during 3 months. The complaint then makes conclusory, unsupported allegations that the defendants' quotes were not bona fide, but instead meant to manipulate the stock. This is despite the stock was trading anywhere between like 1 to 3 cents at the time. This is the best part here. So plaintiff reports to support the allegations with 20 numbered exhibits. Oh, what was that, Amy?
I said, is this a West Christian filing?
No, it's someone else, which makes it. There's some good points in here. Spanning 169 pages, the exhibits, allegedly derived from video recordings plaintiff's counsel supposedly watched, but did not append to the complaint. Here's the best
Stop,
part.
stop. Go back up. Plaintiff's counsel supposedly watched but did not append to the complaint in social media posts from an ex-user named @memestalked.
I don't even know who that is.
Great.
Go
No,
look
that's
do
perfect.
some TD research on that account.
Here, let me write it down. @memestalked. Right?
@memestalked.
Okay, I'll find it. Let me just grab it.
Well, that's going on. On April 20th, 2026, defendant's counsel emailed plaintiff's counsel to express concerns that the exhibits were created by use of generative AI. See Exhibit G. On April 21st, 2021, plaintiff's counsel responded that while the underlying information was traceable to raw data, plaintiffs used AI to create the exhibits. Plaintiff counsel did not represent that the counsel had made any effort to review any part of the voluminous AI-generated exhibits to confirm their accuracy. Make it stop. So
amazing.
There's also footnote 5 here, which says Magistrate Judge Arduro's individual procedures, which the parties were directed to review at ECF 7, require any party who uses generative artificial intelligence to attach a declaration disclosing the use of artificial intelligence and certifying that the party had reviewed the source material and verified its accuracy and compliance with Rule 11 obligations. Plaintiff filed no such certification here.
Okay. I have this account.
Violating local rules. Amazing. I have
the memestalked account.
Okay.
If you want to see it.
Yeah, just 1 second here. I did get some DD from Meltdown that apparently plaintiff's lawyer has been suspended in the past for behaviors that I'll have to look into and verify. But Amy has got our account here on X.
Memestalker, 16 years as a criminal investigator, now investigative journalism, not financial advice. At Memestalker.
Sure.
So,
is this the guy who leads the AABB group?
Looks like it.
Oh my goodness, that's their source?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Oh.
Looks like it. ABB is now live streaming the plant operations. This is great to see. Yep, right out of the gate again, the ghost flash up and then straight back in their descent amongst the ranks. Oh Lord. Some real baggy shit. How many AABB shareholders have brokerages with a Fidelity and not received distribution of dividends? I've heard several, but anyway, this is, I guess, their source. So controlled walk back to bid after ask is hit twice. Okay. But yeah, that's who their big source is, I guess.
The complaint also alleges no facts supporting causation or damage. It offers the contradictory assertion that defendants' conduct somehow both artificially depressed and artificially inflated AABB share price, and does not explain how any purported manipulation on any particular day caused it damages. Plaintiff does not claim it even purchased or sold its own shares. And plaintiff omits that the share price had been trading approximately between 1 cent and 3 cents since 2023 and remained in that range between June and December 2025 during the alleged wrongdoing. Finally, the complaint's inconsistencies underscored its haphazard nature. The complaint repeatedly refers to 9 lettered exhibits that are not attached to the complaint and makes 12 references to a class period, even though it is not pleaded as a class action. Sure. I don't think that lawsuit's going anywhere fast, but it'll be entertaining. I cannot wait for the pending sanctions hearing on that failure to follow local rules, and then of course filing a frivolous suit that obviously falls under the SLRA. So
I bet we're going to see so many more of this AI stuff. Like it's going to be embarrassing for a bunch of people.
I posted on Blue Sky because I'd mentioned last episode about Lawyers Behaving Badly podcast, and they've had several episodes dedicated to lawyers getting caught using AI with bad citations and all this stuff. And so I posted that with the tagging them on Blue Sky and being like, how many times does the Lawyers Behaving Badly podcast need to make episodes about lawyers and AI before you people learn?
Well, it's like the guy in the MMTLP case, right? He like put in a stated case law of a case that didn't even exist, like AI hallucinated it.
Yep. Regularly happens.
Yep.
Regularly. We also had the whole Barclays thing, which was an interesting episode in this whole situation, because this came right after the discovery, right on the 22nd, after the whole discovery hearing thing, and everyone was all about, oh, you know, that the, you know, punishment didn't fit the crime. They got a fine of like 100 and what was it? 100. Where is it here? I know I see it.
No, but then they turned themselves in, right? Didn't they turn themselves in for this?
I'm not sure if that was the case, but Ocelot did have an article about it where basically we found out that they had accidentally filed it as a, you know, as if that this was a market maker activity, like they were doing a trade.
Bonafide, yeah. Like
they
it was an account.
filed it accidentally under the exemption and then later corrected it. And
what was the coding of the account that they were using? Because the account that they were using was not qualified for that, I think.
And
right?
before that even came out,
they did let the SEC know.
Yeah, and before that even came out in Ocelot's article, I had pretty much guessed as much, that this was the reason they got a traffic fine is they got caught speeding, more or less. This wasn't like some willful act to cause harm. Right. This was like just, and also the size of it. Probably
I don't think you can say that, because Doug Sifu said that it's like getting a speeding ticket, and they got very, very angry.
Well, like there's a difference between willful malice and just a violation. Like there's a difference between going out.
Shit happens, and you
someone.
get a fine for it. Shit happens, you get a fine for it. Doesn't mean they close your fund down, or I mean, this happens all the time. Like you guys just have to deal with it. Like they have rules, and if you violate them, you get a fine. Like get over it.
Did you have fun with Kevin Malone's newest idol threat that came down the pipe?
I mean, but what's been happening over the last 12 months? Because you know what's happened in the last 12 months? That weird Ian Carroll in Miami, like art gallery thing.
Yep.
That's happened in the last 12 months. And didn't they collect money for that?
Well, remember when we had Adabit on, they said they lost money on that event. And I think a lot of it has to do with these Bed Bath & Beyond baggies getting pretty much scrubbed from the production. That's leading to Kevin Malone having his feelings hurt. I think that's what this is leading.
Like you said, I'm sick and tired of being ghosted for fighting market corruption by other companies saying they are as well.
I don't even know what that's.
What does that even mean?
Your guess is as good as mine on that one. I don't know. But yeah, then the Bed Bath & Beyond baggies basically went to town, just beating the shit out of him.
Oh, what? I didn't even see all of this.
Yeah, basically they were mocking his post by saying, if Jake in Hull does not contact me before sunrise on Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2033, I will be telling the public the entire story about what happened in the last 12 Mayan calendar months.
No, I'm not laughing at so.
Yeah, but it was basically stuff like that, making fun of him for it. Some of this stuff I think I'm just going to say.
It's amazing how they turn on you, huh?
Right? Really quick. Really quick, like. So yeah, I think most of the rest of this, I'm going, since it's mostly legal stuff, I'm going to save it for the next extra, and we just call it a nice round 2 hours here. Do you have a stupid tweet of the week for us, perhaps?
I don't. I was just looking for one.
Well, you go ahead and look for one. I'll get mine ready here. And I'll in fact get the poll ready first. Because I have a pretty good one, I think. Let me get the poll going here. 1 second. Start a poll. All right. So my stupid tweet of the week is one that I thought was the best. Just in, Michael Burry says GameStop is now over 1/3 of his multi-billion-dollar portfolio. This comes after Ryan Cohen, CEO of GameStop, says he's doing something that's never been done before in the history of capital. Wait, what's that highlight down there? Together, they are well over 3%. Oh, so there's multiple companies. So GameStop is not 1/3 of its portfolio.
Right.
Oops.
You can just
read that reading comprehension skills.
GME, JD, and MOH. So 3.
I don't even know what those other 2 tickers are. I've never heard of them.
Yes, you have.
JD. Never heard of JD.com. MOH.
Wait, what is JD.com?
That's the ticker JD, and then
MOH is health insurance.
Healthcare.
Yeah, it's health. Yeah, I knew that.
Well, I don't do much with the healthcare sector, so that must be why I have never heard of them.
JD.
What about you?
No, you can win tonight. I don't feel like digging.
Oh, I can win tonight. Oh well, I guess I'll just end this poll.
Yeah, it's a Chinese company, right? That's what it's. JD is what is the damn name? It's making me nuts. Yeah, it's a Chinese company.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness. Hopefully I will do some actual like extra videos and clips and stuff that I didn't really do last week because I was too busy doing stuff for my brokerage account and making pretty good gains. I'm not gonna lie. That done Papa John's before the stock market started to get funky. I was up at least 15, almost it was about 18%, but it's drifted back down to about 15 or 14. I still think that M&M's got a deal, and that'll be a nice 40% win. I'll be down for it. Also, I think
are we going to buy them?
They're getting bought out by a Qatar private equity firm or something like that. Okay. They're in the middle of due diligence right now.
Okay.
And then the other one that I was really having a good time with, there's a couple others, but like these are the 2 that I mentioned actually out on social media. Then there was KEP, which is this Korean utility company that I think is well below fair value. It's up 11% from when I bought in. So, just keep the hits rolling. I only held it for like a month.
Deep value investor.
Well, like if you look at the book value plus EPS, it should be a $30 stock. It's trading like $15.
Oh, nice.
So I think that that's well under the value of where it should be, at least based on just the assets and how much money it makes. So, yeah, I'll shill good companies every now and then. Anything hot you've been looking at, Amy?
I have not, I just have like my long-term stuff. I have not actively traded in like 3 weeks, and I don't even miss it.
It's too crazy to do it a whole bunch because the market's just been.
Yeah,
and that's
really I've done it before where I've just where I've just sat with like some cash and just like this cash is a position too, and
yeah, especially in a money market where you get like overnight rate on it.
Yeah, so I haven't actually been doing much of anything, just watching
Well, I mean, that's why a lot of them have been either safe plays for me or there have been M&A plays where the company is trading well below where its buyout price is. And at that point, if the deal is golden, like who cares what the market does? Who cares what the stock does? It's getting bought at this flat price. Like, who cares?
Well, I think I'm going to definitely feel I'm going to get interested in software here pretty soon. It keeps going down the way it is, and
hey, if you're looking at software, what's on my list of well undervalued companies. Take a look at Opera.
Okay. But yeah, just the disconnection between semis and software is pretty crazy. And semis are like at their most overbought in a really long time.
Well, a
Software is
lot of
just
those software
pumping.
companies are kind of like, from what there was a person on Steve Eisman's podcast basically talking about, because of AI, a lot of these companies in tech that are basically, like I said, program software companies are getting banged up, and they're trading at well under.
What's the narrative that that AI is going to take people's jobs? But I don't think that's really the case. I think it's going to be like, because I think
it really
I still think
depends
that
which company. I mean,
well, I still think that it needs a human. But I think
right.
one human doing AI stuff could knock out like 4 or 5 people's jobs. So like I think it still remains to be seen how AI gets integrated into this. I still think that it's going to be someone's job, but so we'll see. But yeah, if it keeps falling the way it is, I'm gonna get interested in IGV again, because I have already played that, at least in the short term. Otherwise, I've just been like selling options against some of my long positions and things like that, but not doing a whole lot. I was, like not having to look at it all the time and manage it, and like actively trading has been pretty nice.
Crazy.
So I'm not even missing it at the moment. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I will probably jump back into software at some point.
Sounds
We'll
good.
see what if it keeps going the way it's going.
Right.
And maybe getting a little short semis. We'll see. I don't know.
If there's one company that, like, don't get me wrong, I want Intel to succeed. I want competition in the semiconductor market, but up there at $70 for what it's doing right now.
Their earnings were pretty great. Their earnings were pretty great. I'm going to give it to them.
It was definitely above expectations, but I don't know if it justifies a 70% price where it's at. Like, I'm glad. And I really think that it having its fab start, moving in the right direction.
Yeah. If they can get that foundry going. Yeah.
And I think
they do fab their own chips.
Well,
so if they can get the foundry up, I think they're going to get a lot of deals as far as like fabbing in the US.
Well, I think that's really the future of Intel, because looking at it, I don't know when and I don't know where, but I think x86 is kind of running out of runway, and that ARM is starting to take its lunch. So the fact that Intel is moving into creating chips and, and that end of it, I think that keeps a hedge for them, because I don't know what happens there, because I think ARM is proving itself to be the better.
But I think I know I get your thing with ARM, but I think it's actually going to come down to a race between Intel and TSM for getting the
right, for making the chips. Yeah. And
who's gonna get it built first, right? Like who's gonna get it built first? Who's gonna get into production fastest? Who's gonna scale the fastest? And it's gonna come down to that.
Right. And I hope that neither one of them push each other out, because I want that competition, because for the longest time, Taiwan's had the monopoly on that, and that's structurally unstable for all of tech in general. That one company pretty much owns the market for fabbing.
Well, and truthfully, we need both of them, right? I mean, like if it's going at the pace that it's going, like that the world needs both of them.
We need that production to keep the thing going.
Right.
Same problem that we're having with RAM is because of the AI.
I still think China comes in at some point, and especially for as expensive as it's getting, China comes in at some point and eats their lunch.
Yeah,
because China can do this for a hell of a lot cheaper than what RAM prices are now.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Hopefully, y'all have a great weekend. Hopefully, the deal with Iran comes through and we can have a green market.
No, they've already taken out of there. They're not even doing it. Iran said
what I was joking with, I think
they've all pulled out of Pakistan.
They pulled out, and then I think I made a post joking that Monday the market's going to be red, and then Trump's going to taco by Tuesday and try and make a deal, because he keeps what is it, the joke we had last week, that the Strait of Hormuz is open Monday through Friday 9 to 5 Eastern time.
Well, now we've had this incident at the White House correspondent dinner, so I guess We'll see how the world reacts to that.
goes. Yeah. All righty. Well, y'all have a great
Alrighty.
evening, and we'll catch you next time.